And I'm just hungry. That's all I am right now. I feel like I just want like fucking Chinese or something. Have you eaten, babe? You have? What did you have? Oh, okay. Prototypes, Tiger Game, Real Bree, Lawana into Razor, Phaleth, Cerebrus, Loik. It's only been 1 minute and 20 seconds. 2 people, 3 people dead. They've been on respawns. I think blue team will take this one. I'm kind of sad that I missed out on this, actually. It's really frustrating that I can't see who's actually playing. I really hope that this is gone by tomorrow, because otherwise I'm going to be so confused. Oh, actually, this is a really, really good... This is a good one. This is a really good one. Let me take a note of this. It's the 21st of September. It is 6:33, and game 1 is... Okay.
Red team wins a capture point.
I want to... Wait, this is Drazy, Relalvin, Dakaho, Tibbs. I mean, this is a stacked team, dude. This is a really stacked team. All right, so blue team, they have a Scourge Necromancer, which is Tayskin, who is the team damage dealer. He's effectively using... I'm going to say Curse's Soul Reaping off the bat. Deadshot. Yeah, of course he is. Tramodex is playing... Trammel War, of course. It's a strength-based sword shield, great sword build. It's meant to be a duelist, but it does a ton of damage, tons of kite ability. Zintrex is playing the quad Stunbreak Spellbreaker build with Ram. Actually, no, he's running double. Wait, no, he's not. Wait, no, he's not. Is he? He's playing Trammel War as well. Both him and Tramodex are playing Trammel War. Hey, that's cool. I didn't realize because he'd already used a couple of his utilities. That's amazing. Okay, so double Trammel War. Hybrid is playing Firebrand support as the pairing to Tayskin, so they effectively are running double duelist, Scourge, Firebrand, and then their rotational damage dealer is Colon, who is playing Power Shiro Revenant. Red team have a Elixir-based engineer. Looks like he's playing leadership, actually. Yeah, leadership with Demolishers and takedown round, so he's not running lock-on. Could be running lock-on, I suppose, but nobody's really going to be utilizing stealth here at all, actually. So actually, that's the better... He's got the better trait line at the moment. Raisin is playing, I'm assuming, Hammer Spellbreaker, because he loves Hammer Spellbreaker. Hammer Spellbreaker, leadership, and Demolishers, of course he is. So he's more of like an offensive side node ownership. I'm assuming that probably the engineer is rotating more than anything. Jundu is playing... Carrion Amulet Mirage. So he's using staff for sustainability, typically to engage in 1v1 duels. He's being pressured hard though. That's not really an optimum use of Portal, but it does mean that he's going to sustain a little bit longer. There was, I believe that was Sword 5. He does have Phase Traversal to answer to here as well. However, Mirage Mirror, False Oasis is currently ticking, and now it's back in his favor, I would say. As long as he does not take unnecessary damage from Colon, he should be good. False Oasis is coming up. He's spamming that shit right now. That sustainability is disgusting. However, it was not enough to keep him alive. Helm is playing Core Guardian, so a rotational damage dealer, which is the Core Hammer Guard. And then finally, you have Tibbs, who is playing Stunbreak Meta Warrior. So Shake It Off has double Stunbreak. Featherfoot Grace has Stunbreak, and so does Endure Pain. So again, it runs Dagger Shield instead of Sword Shield, and it's a slightly different output. So once again, he's acting as a duelist. He's looking for 1vx engagements. I would say that actually the red team are pretty duelist heavy. They do have a Bruiser, which is the Mirage. They do have the double Spellbreaker, which is Raisin and Tibbs acting as duelists. And then they do have like the Engineer, which is effectively another duelist as well. It can be in a 1v1, can be in a 1vx. Doesn't really do as well as Warrior, but it does win the Warrior matchup. And then they do have the singular rotational damage dealer, which is Helm. The only benefit that the red team have is the usage of Portal, which the blue team do not have in their arsenal. Would you let me know? Thank you, man. I mean, to be honest, you don't need to throw me $100 for like such a silly thing. I mean, any support is fantastic. Catch me when I'm drunk, though, when I may consider it. MB is a person that identifies outside. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I didn't know that either, Bill. So when we started watching this game, the blue team were very much so ahead. The red team have managed to keep themselves in this. Tibbs is currently down. However, Zintrex did just go down. I believe somebody just got rallied on the blue team as well. Taskin is so low. He's down, but will he get Signet of Mercied? He is being Signet rezzed. And there we have it. So now we can see the engineer is now being heavily pressured by the Revenant. He does not have the sustain for this, surely. Holy cow, he turned it. Even though he went down, he still managed to turn that. So this is actually an opportunity for the blue team to make a comeback here. So they've just lost the engineer. They've lost the core guardian. All the members of the blue team are currently up. However, I believe that Raisin is here to effectively defend this this red team close node should they need it.
Blue team takes a capture point.
Blue team appear to be picking up the shield as well. So Hybrid is currently picking up the extra toughness and 5k health bar for the blue team here. Stacked health and toughness into a very sort of duelist heavy comp is going to be pretty beneficial to the blue team. The red team already do not really have that much damage to answer to the sustainability and the damage output of the blue team. I would half expect the red team to struggle now, at least until the duration of that shield is done, which is, you know, a minute. A lot can happen in a minute. Red team are... I'm assuming that they're just going to choose to out-rotate during this 1 minute period. They're not really going to be able to answer to them. They have to make picks. And also the blue team have they have the sword on top of that. So actually they have a lot of damage to add into this. The next minute is going to be very, very painful for the red team. They're holding double node comfortably. And never mind, actually, it just got decapped. So red team are actually going to pick up double node here, maybe. If actually Zintrex is standing still on the node, he got the full decap. They are prioritizing the Mirage. I think the Zintrex is looking to keep Tibbs a bit busy here. This is a 2v4 engagement. I'm not sure how I feel about this. And there's that was the phase reversal follow-up from the rotational damage dealer, which is Kolono, aka Bindu. He is using his Revenant skills to keep up with the Mirage there. They're going to look to take out Tibbs. If they trigger Tibbs' full counter, then he will be able to answer this. He has just used his Rampage as well, so he does not have that up. That was full counter proc. Magebane Tether. Okay, and now the Engineer should follow. Wait, so Helm came in as well. Where did Helm come from? Dude, Helm failed that quite miserably. He came in for a spike attempt and failed. He just died alongside Tibbs, just eating the burst from the double warrior follow-up. Sorry, the single... It was a warrior and Revenant, not double warrior. One warrior is currently on the red team close. He's going to be forced to answer to Raisin. Oh, wait, no. Tibbs. Unless Tibbs ignores him. Doesn't want to... Okay. We're going to see Tibbs in the Tramadex. So, Tramadex actually got the ownership of the node, which is important. Dude, I quite enjoy watching Warrior and Warrior matchups because you get to see who makes the mistake first. Oh, shit. Okay, so now we have a 1v2. So this is now in the favor of Tramadex, even though blue team currently have all 3 nodes. Tramadex disengaged. Why did he come out again? Is that because he thought that Dio was coming in, the Engineer? Obvious choice is the Core Guardian. The Core Guardian does have the lower sustainability of both players. Oh, so that was a great Sword 4. Sword 2 follow-up. There we go. So Core Guardian is down. Now they're prioritizing Tibbs. It's really smart play by the blue team because they did obviously know that the Core Guardian was the one that was the most applicable in the scenario. That is Endure Pain passive procced. Dio is here in stealth here as well, so Bindu is going to go down. So now it's very hard on Tramadex. All they want to do is burn him down so that he rallies. If Helm doesn't die here, Helm rallies. They both died simultaneously. Hello? Oh god, it must have been like too long since they actually downed him for that to actually count. So I was not wrong that the blue team actually managed to make this this sort of snowball effect happen just by utilizing both the sword and the shield simultaneously, and the red team could not do enough damage to actually answer the toughness and health that they had. Obviously, the blue team made a good point of rotating off after picking up both of those buffs. Wow, though. I mean, so I think what we're witnessing right now is the blue team is actually going to be going into the monthly AT. I think this is one of the monthly AT teams preparing for tomorrow. It's almost like they're just trying to see how this is going to weigh up. And I think, again, that the red team are also looking to go into the monthly AT because they are the French team. I believe actually that Helm is not French, but I believe quite a few of them are. So they've always been known as the French team. And I half expect to see these guys playing against each other tomorrow. But they just had a taster of what is on the table. So this is definitely going to be an interesting thing to witness tomorrow. I can't wait for it, actually. I got distracted. Oh, it's actually a close game as well. No. Okay, fuck it. All right, I'm gonna have to fucking. Okay, hold the fucking phone. Hold the phone. Okay. Game 2 is starting at 6:54. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. Is this the game that I really wanted to watch? Then I'm gonna triple check. Okay, it is. All right, so Cerberus is playing. Looks like roll for initiative. Okay, so Sword Dagger Thief, which is essentially core, and he is running Dagger Storm as well. People have stopped using Basilisk Venom. They're currently using Evade Storm. Oh, Dagger Storm. I call it Evade Storm now because it's a 4.5 second fucking evasion window. It's ridiculous, but it's pretty strong for what it is. He is looking to make rotations and to +1 and so on and so forth. Phaleth is playing Rifle Deadeye. So again, making cheesy ass kills just by sitting down, holding fucking 1, hitting that Death Judgment and doing a ton of damage. Larry P is playing his interesting Elixir build. So his Elixir build consists of running Sword Shield, I do believe. And it's essentially a duelist build, I believe. It doesn't really have much mobility on it. And any mobility that he does want to make does seem to come from Hollow Leap. He is using Toss Elixir B rather frequently, though. So he does have uptime there of Retaliation, Fury, tons of Might, Swiftness. I suppose like that almost lasts the entire duration because, yeah, it's a 20-second recast and those things are up for like almost 19 seconds. It's almost 5, so it's 5 stacks of Might every 19 seconds. So I didn't even realize how frequently you could use that. It's just strange to be using Elixir B as an active as well that grants you all of that. So you get double the amount as long as you chuck it. Look, he's just chucking it on cooldown. Just chucking it on cooldown. That's interesting. Patrium is playing... so that's Dagger. So that's like the meta warrior, but he's also running with Bull's Charge for more offense. I suppose he just wants to be able to gain additional evade frames and also utilize stun breaks, or sorry, the stun locking of, you know, Rampage, as well as Shield 4 and then Bull's Charge and so on and so forth. And then finally, you have the Guardian of the red team who is running Valkyrie, so he's a Core Hammer Guardian for certain. So he has a rotational damage there. So I'd say that the red team have effectively one duelist, one, and it's kind of actually 2 duelists because the engineer kind of fulfills that duelist role with the shield. Although I would say that standard meta Hollow Smith is probably more so duelist in this build. This seems relatively more offensive thinking about it. Even though it has a shield, he is running a lot of offensive elixirs. So they pretty much have like one main duelist, one bruiser, one duelist sort of thing. And then I'd say 3 rotational damage dealers. The blue team, they have a Scourge Necromancer, 26-612, so running a Blood Magic Trade Line, I think, or Sage. Wait, 26-612. Wait, no, actually, no, that is Deadshot. 26-612 can be Deadshot or Sage Amulet. Sage Amulet just grants you healing, so it's more depending on whether or not they're using Vampiric Aura or not. So they're not, because they're using Curse of Soul Reaping with Deadshot, which is normal, especially when paired with a Firebrand, and I'm assuming that Average Guard is the Firebrand. Okay, so Average Guard is the paired support to the Scourge, so that's understandable why he's not running Blood Magic Trade Line. So Kiki is a rotational damage dealer called Guardian, so utilizing... So Greatsword, actually. So Greatsword does a ton of damage, and it's actually tons of mobility on top of that. You do have the CC element of Binding Blade, and it's Whirling Wrath, which does the majority of the damage output on this skill set. Flandry is playing Carrion Amulet on what looks to be Axe Torch. What's your second weapon set, brother? Weapon swap. Soon.tm. I think he's probably running sword pistol, but I don't know if he's running staff for sustainability. I could check. I just expect him to change. He has not changed weapons. Okay, he's running staff. So he is running staff for the sustainability. You know, the use of Chaos Field and everything else enables him to be lasting in a 1v1. Floody is, I know he's going to be playing Elixir Hollowsmith. So Rune of the Pack for swiftness, uptime, and Hollow Alchemy Tools. Yeah, so he's running the same thing. He's running Elixir Hollow. It effectively is probably going to be rotating in this instance. Maybe sitting on a side node occasionally, but I would say probably more so as a rotational damage dealer. And Average Guard, again, is the Firebrand pairing. So they do have the Core Guardian, the support, the Team Fighter, and then two sort of sustainable players. Like Flandry can play as a bruiser in a 1v1, and then Floody can play 1v1, 1v2. So we're kind of witnessing, I'd say, a somewhat meta composition. The game is incredibly equal. I think the red team are just about keeping themselves in this, but it's only 4 points apart. The midpoint is neutral. This team fight is super, super important. However, it looks to me like the blue team are going to they're going to hold it because they do still have 3 players around here. The red team are forced to disengage. Ticey has gone down. Pentium is going to follow, taking the damage here from Gornet. Wow. Okay, so he got knocked back by Rifle 4 from Floody. Floody is directly taking himself towards the big team fight. They are opting not to push into this red team close node. There's no point in them spreading themselves over the 3 nodes. Now, they haven't had an opportunity to do so. That said, they did have 2 players down, and they were in a 5v3, so it would have been a smart idea for them to do so. Average Guard, aka the Firebrand, is now going to be sitting in the 1v1 with the core against the Scourge. They're not sitting tight. They're not going to just let themselves be out-rotated. They know that nobody is coming for this node. However, they need to pay attention to what Phaleth is doing. Phaleth just dodge rolled in front of Gornet. Nobody saw this. So Phaleth gets the direct decap straight away. And this is obviously why they're not rotating out of 2 nodes. This is why I said that they shouldn't rotate out of 2 nodes. They're not going for the red team close. They were spreading themselves over mid in their own close because they wanted to make sure that they did not get out-rotated by the Double Thief, and that's a really, really smart decision. However, as soon as they rotated away with the Scourge and the Firebrand, they lost that node. Once again, Phaleth trying to make something happen here, doing a shitload of damage. Gets a reset by using... Was he using Mercy? Yeah, so he has Mercy, but so he reset his Deadeye's Mark by using Mercy. I'm not certain that he should actually be investing in this now. Because the Firebrand is here and it's going to negate a lot of the damage. And considering he's attempting to get his output on the Necromancer, it's not a beneficial play. Him trying to, like, isolate the Necro is the wrong idea. He should be isolating the Firebrand. Because the Firebrand will put up blocks and he can block them. He can get through them, you know, by using Death's Judgment. Here we go. So he got the triple land of the pistol whip, dude. Oh, that's tasty, dude. Sword 2, immobilize him, and then there's follow-up, baby. Let's go. Oh my god. And then he gets +1 by the Mesmer there. So they're gonna kill Phaleth. Phaleth was attempting to prevent the cap, but there's the +50. That's the double cap for the blue team. The blue team only need to hold 1 node or kill 3 players to finally win this game. And the blue team look to be picking up double node right now. So this game is going to be over momentarily. And then we'll get straight into the final, I think.
Just like that, blue team takes a capture point.
Yep, there's 495, and that's it. So the double thief did not really pay off for them in this game. I'd say that running double thief is always a bit spooky. The rotation element of it is just like it's not beneficial when they have such a high stack of like point ownership. You have to constantly deal with the Firebrand and the Scourge. One misplay and both thieves are dead. So especially when the blue team stopped rotating to counter the double thief, they had nothing left. Unfortunately, they could not counter their movements because they already weren't spreading the first node. You know, they weren't trying to get that decap or anything. They just wanted to hold what they had. 5 players across 2 nodes. So that was a smart play against the rotation comp. You should pretty much always try and do that. I think that's the best bet. I mean, as soon as you try and spread yourselves thin over a rotation heavy comp, it fails miserably. You get decapped and the game is over before you know it. So GG both teams. Yeah, but by support, I think he means healer. What seemed to be sought after for the 5-man? So for fractals, you typically want a chronomancer, which is like a tank. You want a banner warrior, which is it's like a Condi DPS, I think, that runs like discipline and strength, and you just like buff your team. Druid for healing. Again, could be a different class if you wanted to. It could be a Firebrand. And then you run like two damage dealers or so. I'm not going to get started on this too soon because I don't know how it's going to go. I do think that this game is going to be somewhat one-sided, but we shall see. We already know what both teams are running. We've already looked at both of them already. A few days ago, I remembered that ANET announced that the new story chapter will follow right after this one, and they had huge expansion like changes. I thought about it and would love them to rework basic classes. Maybe. I mean, they're not going to do it like straight away, are they? Dude, Tramadex is like, if you watch Tramadex close enough, he actually uses so many skills so quickly. Like his downtime between key presses is actually it's almost like a lot of the time you have to wait to the end of an action, but he action cancels like at the right time. I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing because he gets a lot of his kit out very, very quickly. So, as I suspected, the red team are ahead right now. If it goes to like 100 or like 150 or whatever very, very quickly and they just keep dominating the blue team, I'm probably just going to let this go. Zinchek's losing the 1v1. Okay. I just want to make sure it's an even game. Okay, screw it. I will cover it. So as previously explained, I think both warriors are running. Yeah, okay, so they're still running Trama War. So Tramadex has the Signet of Stamina, Bull's Charge, and Double Shake It Off with the Sword, Shield, and Greatsword. Zintrax exactly the same. SDF is playing what I believe was actually he's playing Firebrand. Yep, he's Firebrand. He's the support to Tayskin, who is the team damage dealer. And then finally, you have a Bindu, who is rotating as a Power Shiro Revenant. So they have Duelist Heavy, 3-node spread. So Warriors on both side nodes, and then the Scourge and Firebrand in the middle. And then the Revenant just rotates around as and where is necessary. The blue team, they have a Power Shiro Rev. They have Flandre, who is doing the Staff, Axe, Torch, Condi. Yep, so Carrion, Mirage, again looking for 1v1s. Floody plays a Engineer, so again he is playing Herald Demolishers on the Elixir Hollow, I'm assuming. Again, taking passive Elixir. So again, it's just like a typical build. Again, possibly acting more so as a duelist in this game, simply because his team doesn't really have duelists for node ownership. Average guard is the Firebrand support to Gauntlet. And Gauntlet obviously being the team damage Scourge using Curse's Ori Ping and Deadshot Amulet. So both teams are pretty much using what I would claim to be meta compositions. They do have, like, one is more sort of rotation heavy than the other one. You know, red team do have a lot of duelists. They're very tanky. Whereas the blue team do have more damage capabilities if they can get on top of the red team in the first place. Now you see, even though the blue team are currently ahead in 40 points, the red team have picked up Stillness, and they do have both side nodes, and that's because they had both of their warriors on those side nodes whilst all of this nonsense was taking place in the middle. They are rotating straight out, even if, right, even if a Bindu dies here, even if the Firebrand is still down, which she's not. Tayskin is going down. Actually, no, they teleport res. Dude, if they can get Tayskin up, this is actually a really, really hard reset for the red team. So Stillness is just worn off. Double node is still ticking. Tayskin is down. They're in a 5v4. Blue team at advantage. Again, if the red team are able to have both of these nodes aimed, you know, in their sights, and they don't really give a shit about the mid node, then they can maintain that point lead.
Just like that.
Blue team do pick up the middle node. Although there is a warrior within range, he's probably looking to push into it. However, Zintrex knows that he can't actually answer to a Scourge and Firebrand simultaneously. That said, if they do get Skiki down, which they have, this is a very beneficial thing. Gauntlet and the Firebrand average guard are currently separated. Now, Tayskin is down there by himself, getting the decap. He did actually get the full decap before fully engaging. And this is because the Firebrand knew that he had to rotate up to come and prevent the death of Gauntlet. There is the Storm anyway. So what they did was they actually forced the separation. Now, the Firebrand stood on the middle node to try and maintain that node. But in the meantime, the Scourge wandered off. And the Scourge proved... This proves that the Scourge is super, super vulnerable when it's by itself. Okay, there's a very, you know, limited amount of matchups that a Scourge can take when it's by itself. And as long as you keep a Firebrand next to it, then it can pretty much take any matchup. You can even take 2v3s. It's exceptionally strong. So obviously what the red team forced them to do was to spread out. I think Gauntlet probably made the misplay by running after players by himself. That said, the blue team have just picked up both side nodes, and the red team are looking, or were looking, to have the mid node. However, that's been decapped by the rotation of Flandry, and you'll see that both warriors are currently in the same place. Never mind, Tramodex actually rotated out. I just witnessed that. Zintrex is now almost rotating towards Tramodex. Or actually, no, he's positioning himself for Stillness. And there comes Tranquility. So you can see that Sakiki and Floody both just simultaneously drop down. They're looking to get Tranquility, and I think the red team are aware of this. So red team are going to go for Stillness, I think. No? Wait, are they just really late to the party? Because they've got this already. That's exceptionally late to the party, my dudes. So I thought that they were doing that on purpose. I thought that the red team were just going to look to leave them to have the ownership of the nodes, so they don't have to then deal with capping them again. And that the red team would just like spread themselves on the nodes and just wait. So now the fight is taking place. Oh, no, it's not. Oh. So blue team have Stillness, and they have double node ownership, and they're currently contesting the mid node. Oh my god. I mean, this is where the momentum begins. So if the blue team had actually managed to hold on to their close node, which has now been decapped, by the way, by Tramodex, I believe. Yeah, Tramodex is on the blue team close. He's now going to hold that against the engineer. And if they'd held that close node, they would have had double node ticking with Stillness. I think that during Stillness, it's more important to hold both nodes and gain the full output than what they did. Zintrex did previously lose into this Mesmer, so I don't really anticipate Zintrex actually doing well into this matchup. He has no resistance left, although he does have full counter. There's Greatsword 3 evasion, Signet cast there for the utilization of the resistance uptime. He just used the first stack of, his last stack of Shake It Off so that he could immediately remove the conditions. He is attempting to get the engage with Rampage, instead using the disengage. Signet Res cast again to get resistance. However, Flandry can land hybrid damage, so he needs to be very careful. The hybrid damage application comes from the power that is on his amulet. He still has 900 power and 1200 condition damage. So when he does actually use, Mind Rack, and he does use Cry of Frustration, it still does flat damage, including the condition output. So whether he's using resistance, on the Signet or not, it doesn't matter. The damage is still applied. I really don't know why Zintrex keeps pushing into this. I think he might be better spent in the middle. Again, you can see the blue team have picked up a 163-point lead, pretty much coming directly from their Tranquility pickup and the Stillness combined with that. Both of them simultaneously are exceptionally strong. Tasker needs to make sure that he tries to stand on this node, I guess. Him and the Firebrand now paired together in the middle. I think they need to work on splitting them. Both warriors need to split here. Because they're not contesting the blue team close. A Bindu now making the rotation, I'm assuming, towards the Mesmer, who is currently killing the warrior. Stillness is up. They're going for Stillness to prevent the blue team from getting it. There is a follow-up coming from Sakiki right now. He still gets it. Nice. Okay, so a Bindu went for the Stillness, even though he knew his teammate was dying. Zintrex just went down, and Sakiki is now in a 1v1 against a Bindu. This is a mirror matchup. They're both running exactly the same builds. Sakiki stands to lose this simply oh, never mind. So he's been +1 by Flandre. Flandre hard counters Colon, aka the Power Shiro Rev. The amount of damage application that comes from conditions is way too much for a Revenant to handle. So instead of actually contesting it, Abendu jumps straight down. This is a pretty good reset spot because it forces them to follow you through 3 layers of terrain, and they can't directly appear on top of you during that transition. And in close quarters, a Mesmer would actually get pretty hard cooked by the output of a Revenant. They need to get the decap on the red team close. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. There's 3 blue players stacked up on top of Zintrex. GG to the blue team. I really genuinely thought that the red team were going to take this. That's actually really surprising, considering how close that was. I mean, that was literally 7 or 8 minutes in. 7 minutes in, they actually just took it away. They'd got Tranquility and Stillness simultaneously and took it. God damn. I dug the photo out. Here it is. There you go. Here's me. So this is me with super round moon face. Super red as well. I think I'd been on holiday or something. At least I had nice hair, you know? At least I had nice hair. But that's kind of like what leads me to how my name came about, like the name Jawgeous. People were really surprised that I had a jawline. And a girl said that I looked Jawgeous because I had good bone structure underneath all my fat. And she didn't know about it. And then I just kind of like stuck with that, so to speak. And it then became my my character, so much so that somebody even photoshopped my face onto into what's his fucking name again? Something Chin. Crimson Chin. I should probably check this fucking PvP shit, shouldn't I? There we go. Nice. I hope it hasn't started already. I get carried away with this so much. The hair isn't helping you? What do you mean? Oh, dude, this is actually a good game. Fuck! All right, game 1. The only game that might have any interest taking place in this fucking tournament. All right, Prickleberry is playing Dagger Shield. So we're going to see Dagger Shield taking place as a Spellbreaker. You get to see how they operate. One is much less mobile than the other. Prickleberry was never going to land that shield 4. That was a bit silly. There's the Dagger 3 intercept. I actually think that this is in Prickleberry's benefit because he is still running the old meta build, but who knows? Your Life Insurance is playing... Wait. He's playing Tempest. Okay, so we can see that we have the support Tempest here paired with Cranox, who's playing Firebrand support. So this is the comp that we saw in the monthly AT. Different team, same comp. Okay, so Cranox playing Firebrand support to pair with Wing, who is playing I'm assuming Deadshot. We just confirm Deadshot, Curse of Soul Reaping, which is the standard team fight damage output to pair with the Firebrand. As you can see, it does a shitload of fucking damage. He's donning the Crown, which is the monthly AT winner for August. He did win the monthly AT with rank 55. And then finally, you have Mesritu, who is playing, looks to be Hybrid Staff. So I would assume Axe Torch, yep. Axe Torch with Staff with Sage Amulet for the sustainability and 10.5k healing on False Oasis. Basically, it triggers 5 pulses and does a fucking shitload of healing. Operating as a bruiser in this instance, where you can see in a 1v1 against Boyce. Flandy is playing full condition output, so carry an amulet, but with Staff and Axe Torch. Fourth best NG, aka Abindu, still playing the old school meta build for Engineer. It's not really as viable. It's not better than the Elixir build. It's just his preference. He can operate as a duelist, a rotational damage dealer, whatever the fuck he wants to be, he can do it. Gauntlet is the Scourge Firebrand. Sorry, the Scourge pairing with the Firebrand, which is Synod. As you can see, Synod is the Firebrand here. He is healing Gauntlet, and Gauntlet is also playing the Curse of Soul Reaping Deadshot Amulet. So it's pretty much a mirror matchup here into Wing and Cranox. And then finally, we have Boyce, aka I Hate This Dead Game, who is not playing Soul Beast, but is playing the Druid build that we have already seen. So at the moment, we can see that the game has been underway for approximately 3 minutes, and there is less than 25 points on either team. So these are actually pretty good teams, I'm going to say. And, you know, the only reason that the points are so low is because they're equal duelist matchups. So Boyce is obviously in a 1v1 against Mezritu. Mezritu being the bruiser in this case, the 1v1 engage, and is holding himself equal on this node against Boyce. Now, Boyce is very slowly taking control of the node. As you can see, it only required 1 or 2 ticks in order to pick it up. This has had a +1 from the Hollowsmith, who's come in to punish Mezritu. Now, both of them should be able to kill at least one of these guys. The Tempest did rotate in. That was probably a pretty interesting, incorrect decision. He's rotating out with as much defensive capability as possible. Abindu is going to be out-rotated here. And now the sustain of the Tempest. Okay, is he going in or is he not going in? He's confusing me. Okay, so this is a 2v2 matchup that is probably gonna favor, I would say, the Druid and the Engineer. And that's because they have so much punishment against the Tempest. Tempest has gone down. Mezritu was never gonna cap that node whilst Boyce walked off it anyway. They already knew that this shit was neutral. Now, both of them should turn their attention perhaps onto Mezritu, get ownership of the node, which is what they're looking to do, as they have. And in that time, they have managed to pick up a good amount of points for the blue team. Blue team look to actually gain some extra... Oh, wait, that's Chunzu? I've only just realized that Tempest is Chunzu. Holy shit. Okay, all right. Now it makes sense. He's a good player. So, yeah, blue team is still holding mid with Synod and Gauntlet. And so they've managed to push Wing and Cranox out of that. Interesting. Prickleberry won the 1v1 into Flandy, by the way. And the reason that he was able to do that is obviously because he has a ton of anti-condition. Okay, and Flandy is pure condition. So Featherfoot Grace grants 6.5 seconds of resistance. It also grants pulsing resistance on Berserker Stance. And then he has the capability of removing 12 conditions with Shake It Off. 12. So... and then he has resistance on Healing Signet as well as being able to use full counter and negate damage entirely. So he is full anti-conditions. You can tell why Prickleberry probably played this build into this matchup, thinking that he would be against Flandy. Unfortunately, it does mean that Abindu might be able to pressure him out here. We shall see. He did not trigger the full counter, which means Prickleberry is now very susceptible to damage. He does have shield 5 to get back on the node. He's still maintaining this node. Never mind. I was going to say he's still holding it for the red team, but it appears that he has been pressured away by Abindu. Red team looking to take ownership of this mid node now. The one thing that's important to note, right, is that the reason this actually did well beforehand was because in the MAT was that the Firebrand and the Tempest stayed together. The Firebrand and the Tempest stay together, not with a Scourge. You did not have the Scourge in this play. So what they're doing is they're demanding the two supports stay together whilst also having a Scourge there as well, which means they've got one person on either side node. That's not going to pay off. The red team will not get that. That's not going to equate to anything good for this. So they need to have double sustainability taking place on one node to, you know, create that competitive advantage. Like having the Tempest paired with Prickleberry, that might be good, but I feel like the Tempest is just going to get turned on by the Mirage and the Hollowsmith here, and he will die because the Tempest will not be able to sustain it enough. You need the Tempest with the Firebrand and then let the Scourge rotate and do tons of damage somewhere else. You do not then try to make the Tempest relevant on a different node. It will not work. You've already seen why that isn't the case. So Cranox is now rotating with Wing. Why are they 4v2? 4v3. So what, they're just giving up free ownership of the mid node? Because Mezritu will not maintain this in the 1v2. Never mind, Flandy's not rotating out anymore? What the fuck, man? So Mezritu and Boyce were already having that 1v1 engagement. There's the rotate from Flandy, like I thought. I thought Flandy was rotating him, but he seemed to, like, second-guess it. Mez dropped his portal. He does have portal exit. He is probably going to try and get the decap and then portal straight back mid. That means that the red team did lose ownership of that mid node. And now you have a Mesmer matchup. Mezritu does stand to win this engagement because Mezritu has the sustain of the Sage Amulet. However, if he does eat the full burst from Flandy, he will be hard punished. He does have Chaos Storm up. He could negate a lot of the damage that's coming out from Flandy. Okay, so he just ate it. Meanwhile, actually, the red team did pick up the mid node, and they did pick up the red team close as well. I don't really understand what just happened. Did I miss something really important? I feel like I did, because otherwise it would not be like this. So red team took double node. Mezritu won the matchup. Sorry, wait. No, he didn't win the matchup. Wait, something else happened, and now I'm... How did he get back up again? Who saved him? Who saved... Mezritu was dead when I just checked. Did somebody come through his portal and res him? That's probably the play, right? Somebody probably came through the portal, resed him, and then went back. All right, I'm going to take that. That's probably... Yeah. So the Firebrand must come through and resed and then return back on the portal. That makes a lot more sense. So Mezritu is now in the 1v1 against Boyce. Boyce probably will not do well to sustain this. He's probably already used his Signet of Stone. No, he hasn't. Okay. All right. Okay, fair enough. So punished away anyway. So Mezritu doing a good job to maintain that node ownership. Boyce would definitely win this matchup if he were playing Soul Beast, but obviously with this build, it's much harder. I guess he's just sick of playing the same build, so you can explain, you can understand why he might want to do that, you know, in terms of just like the longevity of his enjoyment, perhaps. Red team is still holding the mid node in the mirror matchup, so you do have the Firebrand and the Scourge versus Firebrand Scourge with the passing Tempest. Tempest coming into +1 into into Mezritu. So again, to enable the sustainability here in the matchup. So it does appear that Mezritu did get decapped at some stage, probably from the rotation from a Bindu. The Tempest will be able to sustain this and decap, perhaps? If the Tempest, like, disengages and forces a Bindu to follow, this is actually beneficial to the red team because then at least they have a neutral node and a 1v1 off point. There's the resustain of Mezritu. Mezritu trying to get his false Oasis off. Okay, so now he can go straight back into the node, but Boyce already has ownership of that node, so somehow Mezritu needs to get ownership. He's going to rotate mid, try and debate Boyce away from the node, and then return on the portal. If the red team manage to win the mid node off this, in the meantime, that's really beneficial. Wing does go down to the Prime Light Beam of a Bindu. Synod getting the stomp right now. Never mind, looks like they're bleeding. Oh, wait, no, he was getting the stomp. Or at least punishing and bleeding, forcing the early death. Kranos goes down as well, so the Firebrand and the Necro combo with the red team are down. Blue team are in a 5v3 for the time being. Mezritu has returned on the portal and is met by Boyce on the side node. So the Bruiser versus the Druid. It's hard to say what this Druid what this Druid build is because it's not your standard bunker Druid. It does have some offensive output. So when you're not in your Celestial Avatar, you are able to sort of contest a little bit with the use of the Sword Warhorn. So it's pretty good actually. It's a sustainable duelist. I quite like it. So meanwhile, the red team are at a 100-point deficit. Blue team are 2 points ahead and also 100 up in points. They need to really make something happen quick. They have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Prickleberry is trying to get ownership of the fucking, what is it, windmill? And he rotates off with double tick. I mean, you had a choice. You had a chance to have some points taken there, Prickleberry. But then maybe he's obviously putting the team fight ahead of the node ownership. I guess if they do get kills, it allows them to snowball slightly. Prickleberry could get Gauntlet by himself. Never mind. Synod has rotated in. That was probably merciful intervention that was used. Rotating straight out to re-sustain himself and then teleport back in, I'm assuming. Gauntlet does go down. Signet of Mercy being channeled. Gets interrupted by the Fear. Really nice play there by Wing, because he was obviously aware that Synod would be trying to get that Signet of Mercy res. So they get to pick up on their close node. They now get to rotate and make things happen across the map. Now, they do have approximately 180 seconds to make something happen here. Red team are going to double up on the far node. I'm assuming there's going to be people rotating into the blue team close. So Boyce and Flandy into the Mez Tempest matchup. Now, Mezritu could die here. He has been beaten by Flandy beforehand, and if Mezritu eats this this output, he's killing himself. He's casting through confusion. That's not smart. They're going to keep trying to punish the Tempest while this res attempt goes through. The Tempest has been forced to use defensive cooldown here, and now he will not be able to sustain the 1v2 here. So, that said, it is remaining neutral. Forced to disengage, and there's the ownership. Boyce does get the full cap, and the Tempest goes down as well. So that is a 5v3 for the blue team. The single node ownership for the red team is not going to keep them in this game. And once again, we see the 3v3. Gauntlet going down once again. Synod does still have Signet of Mercy. He was interrupted. It did come back off cooldown. It did not go on full cooldown after the interrupt. Here we go. There's the Signet of Mercy. And another Fear from Wing, dude. He is on that shit. He knew exactly what he wanted. He knew exactly what he wanted from that. Twice in a row, baby. He's on point. He's watching Synod like a fucking hawk. Okay, well, we can accept that the blue team are going to win this, I think. Red team are trying to get the mid node, and they do have ownership of their close node still. They need to get the decap on this blue team close node, otherwise they will lose the game. Red team are stacking 4 players on the mid to get that ownership. Mezritu is staying here. They're portaling out. No. Oh, no. The blue team are now stacking on the blue team close. So that's what that portal was for. This is now currently a 3v2. The rest of the red team need to commit to this. If the rest of the red team do not commit to this, they will not get the decap. They got 40 seconds. Zintrex loses the 1v1. Sorry, not Zintrex. Prickleberry loses the 1v1 into a Bindu. And they get the neutral on both nodes, in fact. So the rotation there from Wing actually trying to get that push lost them the node there in the mid, and then losing the duel lost them the red team close node, and they lost both nodes simultaneous. So that is almost, this is almost actually, is this going to go to the full 15 minutes, or are they going to get a kill? Wow. So that is a 14-minute, 35-second game. Sorry, 45-second game. That's a big game. Now that timeline stayed with the red team initially ahead, and then the blue team held their lead pretty well there for the entirety of the game. But that dragged out. They did not grant that that win easy. They did not just bend over and let that happen. I am quite surprised that the blue team took the lead. The only reason I'm saying that is because I thought that the Firebrand Tempest combo is actually pretty powerful. And maybe if Cherry had tried to stay away from Cranox and the Firebrand and the Tempest had actually sat in the mid by themselves for the majority of the game, we might have seen more happen on the map. Their downfall was that they were putting Cranox, the Tempest, and Wing, the Scourge, on the same node all the time. And I think that if Cherry had been able to, if Wing had been able to rotate more often, then that probably would have equated into a win for them. Germany and Belgium, they're actually like a very, very clean country. They're very, very like clean areas, and they do charge you for like things like public bathrooms. I noticed that when I went through. And I remember just having to pay €1 or some shit just to go for a fucking piss. And I was like, well, this is ridiculous. But then I walked into the toilets and they were like sparkling clean. There was literally like, there wasn't a speck of dust. There was no shit or piss around the toilets. It smelled nice. And I thought, this is beautiful. I will pay €1 to use your toilets. So, everybody makes money, dude. Okay. All right. So knowing what minimum wage is and changes nothing. You need to know how much money you need to live. Yeah, but that's why they call it living wage in the UK now. Anyway. So Tramadex and Zintrex still running the Trama War build. So the strength. I'm going to show you guys what the build is. Actually, I'll show you from Tramodex's perspectives, just so you get the full thing. So, sword, shield, great sword, using cleansing, battle, energy and agility, strength, and demolishes amulet. And then you have strength, discipline, and spellbreaker. And the utilities are healing signet, signet stamina, shake it off, bull's charge, and rampage. So, he is going to be, you know, doing the same thing as a meta spellbreaker would. He is still looking to be a duelist on the side node, but he does have the strength element of this where he can completely and utterly destroy somebody with damage alone. Bull's charge just did 5,000 damage off a utility, and the F1 of Arcing Slice with Great Sword actually just did another 6k. So he's managed to hard pressure Flandy already. Here's the utilization of Rampage. Flandy's going to be forced to disengage away from this. 10,000 damage! What the fuck? Holy fucking Arc Slice, dude. Holy shit. So now you see why people play this fucking build, dude. God damn. Okay, so Tramodex and Zintrex are playing the same build as I stated before. They are looking to be both on the side nodes together. Sorry, not together, but doing the same job as each other, okay? Hybrid Venom is the rotational damage dealer of the red team. He is running Sword Dagger Thief, so he's looking to get decaps. He is looking to make quick +1s and to turn the tide of fights. And then finally, you have Roy, who is the Firebrand support to Taskun, who is playing Scourge with Curse of Soul Reaping, aka the highest damage output potential of a Scourge during team fight. Now, the blue team, they have Flandy, who is playing full Carrion Amulet, Staff, Axe, Torch. So again, looking to be a bruiser in this case. Does not have the sustainability of the Sage Amulet, so therefore is losing the dual hard into Tramodex. He does have the damage output though, so, you know, if Tramodex makes a misplay, then he will get hard cucked. Now, Flandy does have the utilization of Portal, should he wish to. He's trying to do his best to bait Tramodex as far away as possible from the node so he can get the decap. Tramodex should not have followed him there. That was a misplay by Tramodex, but then he does get the decap in mid off of it, so it still pays off. He can't be disabled in Rampage. He uses it anyway. That's kind of a fucking... That's such a BM usage of fucking Rampage. So just as much as Flandy just got the decap, Tramodex got the decap in mid as well. Skiki is playing Power Shiro Revenant, so rotational damage dealer, looking to make quick +1s, much like Hybrid would be. However, his damage output is much, much higher than what Hybrid can provide. Wing is playing Scourge Necromancer, 26-1-2. I'm going to assume that he's playing Curse of Soul Reaping with Deadshot. Yep. So both Wing and Taskun are playing the same damage output, the same build. Fly High is playing Sword Dagger Thief as well, so both him and Hybrid Venom are playing the same right now. And then finally we have Synod, who is the Firebrand support pairing to the Scourge, aka Wing. Now, the one thing to note is that Synod does have Signet of Mercy, so if anybody does go down on the blue team, he's able to channel that res. We might see him use it right now. How? Oh, he rallied. Okay, so Sakiki actually rallied off of somebody, and I don't really know how. Taskun's going to go down here anyway because Roy is no longer with us. Roy is dead. This is a 4v3 engagement. Taskun is down. There's the immediate decap from Synod. Tramodex is trying to hold it in favor for as long as possible. He will try and get the disengage here. He's sticking around, baby. Okay, so he's actually not giving this up to the blue team. However, when he dies, he will be giving it over. So that's kind of like, what are you doing, Tramodex? Anyway, in this time, Zintrex was able to get the full cap of the henge node, aka the blue close. Blue team are taking the mid node. It looks like Flandy won the 1v1 into Hybrid. Hybrid should not have gone for that 1v1. Blue team do have ownership over the mine right now, and they're going to be facing a 3v2 into Roy and Taskun. That's now a 3v3 with the addition of Hybrid Venom. They are looking to get that immediate decap. Roy uses the sand... What is that skill called again? Sand Swell. Sand Swell. He didn't rally, he got res while you stared on res signet. Well, he didn't have anybody resing him. Didn't he rally? Could have sworn he rallied. Anyway, I'll go back and I'll watch it at some point. So, once again, we see that Zintrex is actually... Sorry, Tramodex is in a 1v1 with Fly. Now, Fly will not win this engagement. But Fly just obviously does not want to hand over the node really, really easily. I mean, I wouldn't expect Fly to win this engagement, but there's nothing to say that he couldn't. He doesn't trigger the full counter, which obviously works in his favor. Tramodex eating the... What? Oh, that was the steal. That was the F2. That was the steal F2. Here's the +1 from Wing. Fly is waiting to get his engagement. There's the Sword 2 steal. So we immobilized Charmadex. I don't think Fly needs to stay here anymore. He got the steal on full counter, so actually Charmadex was interrupted there on the full counter. Does not have any boons for sustainability. Doesn't have any might for his damage up, but his might is building though. Gets the boon strip from Wing as well. So all of his might is now gone. He's doing really well to sustain this 1v2, but you see Fly is just here, man. Fly needs to leave. So they get him down. That was a ton of damage from the F2. The Whirling Blades might get rallied here. Might get rezzed by Roy. Roy gets the Signet. Wait, no, he got interrupted by Wing there. They're going for the res. They're going for it. There's the slam from Synod. So blue team still managing to hold the lead here. Roy is going to go down as well if he does not get resustained somehow. Tayskin needs to apply some damage around him so that he gets a chance. Tayskin is going to get the disengage here unless Fly is able to maintain like Sword 2 spam. Sandswell used for the disengage. Fly will die as long as he chases this. Ghastly Breach possibly going to be used here. Nope. Tayskin goes down to the punishment from Wing followed up. So Fly may actually go down here as well. He's hanging around. He double tapped fucking Shadow Step to get the triple condition removal. One auto attack from Tayskin is going to put Fly on his ass. There's the withdraw heal. And now he is back sustained. Back into Zintrix here on the +1. He actually missed his steal on Zintrix. Larcenous has not been hit. Sword 2 Larcenous does not pay off because his Larcenous actually went off cooldown. And there we have it. So Sword 2 back in. We'll get the Sword 2 return. And the re-engage possibly on Hybrid. Blue team doing well to maintain this lead, actually. That is a 2v2 going on at red team close. It is the Firebrand Scourge against Firebrand Scourge. Roy gets the decap, which is important. Never mind. Red team were unable to get the full decap. Now, Wing is doing his best to stay on this node so they don't actually... Every single time that fucking Wing walked off, Synod walked into it. So actually, they traded the movement out of the node. Roy is eating a ton of conditions right now. They were going to get the +1 from Zintrix. However, Zintrix has decided that he's just going to move the fuck out and try and +1 into mid. Now, we do see an equal numbers fight here, actually. So red team have just taken down Sakiki. Sakiki will not be coming back into the fray. Flandy and Fly High. Now, they are not going to win the sustain into the double warrior. They will not get this. Tramadix and Zintrix now following the disengage there of Flandy. Okay, Zintrix has decided to be the only person following Flandy. Tramadix is now rotating out towards Roy and Tayskin. Tramadix does not want to give this node over to the blue team, so his position here is actually super viable. Wing and Synod will win this engagement on Tramadix, but Tramadix is going to do his best to maintain this neutral. He doesn't want to win it. He knows he's going to lose it, but he just wants to be here, and the longer that he stays, the better. He's going to utilize as much as he can in terms of like evade frames. And he's going to punish Wing as much as possible as well so that Wing can't get a load of damage out. Now Roy and Tayskin are going to come in and Tramadix is going to leave. And that in itself is enough because now they maintain that neutral node. Tramadix actually staying for longer to try and, what, get a kill on Synod or something? He must have said there like, oh, I'm fine. You guys go ahead. Now they're rotating mid to get the full decap, I suppose, on mid. Oh, they're going to try and get the rally here on Zintrix. If they can get the rally, this is super important. Flandy using Distortion gets the knockback away from Roy, and there is the res. So actually, red team have managed to reset that mid-fight. They should try and take it to the node, I guess. Blue team actually portal 2 members out. Skiki and Flandy forced away from that fight. And now the red team have, they're putting 3 players in towards the blue team close. And now Hybrid is actually rotating back towards mid, followed by Synod. So Synod is actually going to be there to answer to Zintrix. And it looks like Hybrid is actually aware of this. So Hybrid is going to try and probably punish Synod. Or maybe they go straight for Wing while Synod is not here. Okay, so now Tremodex is going to be in a 1v3. He has gone down. Wing and Synod and Fly are within the area. Fly is now going to be following Hybrid. Oh my god. Okay, so here's the +1 into Sakiki. Sakiki has used Infused Light there, so Zintrix trying to get the kill with utilization of Rampage. He did almost get him. There's nobody here to resustain. Synod is on his way, though. Synod... Oh, my God. Okay, so Sakiki actually rotated towards Synod to try and get that rally. There's the res signet there that came out of Synod. Just confirmed that it was actually res signet. Yes, it was. And now they're here to contest the mid node against the Warrior and Scourge pairing. I believe that the Scourge and the Firebrand here will do better than the Scourge and Warrior. The sustain is much, much larger on the side of the blue team. They did not want to seem to walk into that node very quickly. I guess they didn't want to walk into the shades, and it made sense to walk away from it. They will come in now with the addition of Fly. Tayskin's going to get hard pressured by the output of Larcenous Strike from Fly. Okay, meanwhile, we did actually miss a 1v1 between Flandy and Roy. Flandy should not really have won that. Actually, no, it was a 2v1. Sorry, Sakiki is now rotating towards mid, so Sakiki would have actually +1 on that fight. It was a 2v1 in a Roy. Blue team pick up the blue team close and keep themselves in this. They're actually going to pick up the mid node as well because Tayskin has gone down. Tramadex will not be able to sustain this 1v3. He can try and keep it neutral for as long as possible. Red team close is still in the favor of the red team, but it looks to me like Sakiki is actually camping this with the utilization of Portal. Now, he looks like he's getting ready to portal back in. He does not have long on this. Okay, so Hybrid Venom is here to actually punish Sakiki. Sakiki almost has Infused Light back up in 8 seconds. This is actually something that he can very easily enable. He does have Unrelenting Assault left, and I believe that he has Staff 5 to enable block, or Staff 3 as well. Unrelenting Assault perhaps onto Roy, followed by Shackling Wave. We may see that. That's the Staff 3. Hybrid will die here. Actually, no, he does have Roy to resustain him. But, you know, if he'd been picked off, he could have eaten a shitload of conditions and he wouldn't have been able to answer to it, apart from maybe Signet of Agility. They're trying to keep the node pickup from the blue team. Hey, Kami. Blue team still have ownership over mid. Roy forcing that. He's trying to get that decap. But if Tayskin goes down, then Roy can't get this. They get the interrupt with the steal of Fly, so Roy could not get that channeled res. Unfortunately, there's the Merciful Intervention, and Synod is going to get the stomp, and there we have it. That is the end of that game. That is the final, guys. That is over. And that game was, you know, legendary rating. That game was legendary rating. That was fucking high skill. Obviously, looked to be very, very balanced for at least 4 minutes, and then the blue team just took away. They took that game. GG to both teams. Good game. I kind of expected it to be a little bit closer, but, you know, what can you do? Really, really OP, dudes.